For more than 2 decades, Business Roundtable's formal statement on the purpose of a corporation centered on shareholders. And while that statement remained the same for many years, the realities of business changed.
Over time, it became clear that for companies to be successful for many years to come, they needed to listen to and serve all of their stakeholders. In fact, for many years, BRT member companies have been transforming our business models to do just that. But while the ways companies operated evolved, BRT's statement on the purpose of a corporation hadn't. We knew we had to make a change to reflect our values, and that's what we did.
On August 19, 2019, 181 leading CEOs made headlines when they pledged to support their employees, suppliers, customers, and communities.
We also knew it wasn't enough to just change the statement. We needed to act. We needed to align BRT initiatives and priorities with all stakeholders in mind, and most importantly, back up our words with action, especially with so many Americans feeling left behind. And for the past year, that's what we've been doing.
After pledging, Business Roundtable members started work almost immediately. They increased minimum wages and starting salaries. They invested in opportunities for employees to learn new skills and advance professionally. And they helped repay employee student loans and created scholarships for their children.
And when we made the announcement last year, we couldn't have imagined how important the commitment would prove to be a year later and how many lives it would touch.
In 2020, 2 crises rocked the nation. The coronavirus pandemic has stolen over 150,000 lives in the US, and it's torn at the lives and livelihoods of millions of Americans. At the same time, police brutality and racial injustice that have plagued our nation erupted into mass protests across the country.
The challenges our countries face this year have tested us as individuals, families, businesses, and communities. And if there were any questions about the need for a stakeholder approach to capitalism, they were answered by the business's response to the crises of this past year. As chairman of Business Roundtable, I've been fortunate to see what happens when America's largest employers put our principles into practice by leveraging our strengths to meet challenges head on. General Motors converted a manufacturing plant within weeks and is now producing thousands of ventilators with Ventec for hospitals across the U.S. Comcast offered free internet service to help low-income families and students stay connected during the pandemic. Bank of America announced a $1 billion commitment to address racial inequity. And at Walmart, we've hired more than 540,000 new associates over the past 5 months. These are just a few.
And above all, they had to keep the economy going. So they worked directly with state leaders to help develop smart plans for closures and reopenings. They developed new diagnostic tools and treatments, provided facilities for testing, procured and produced critical medical equipment, and they contributed their expertise, financial resources, and supplies across the country. The Business Roundtable has also created a special committee to advance racial equality and justice. They've already issued a statement to Congress urging bipartisan police reform.
At General Motors, we aspire to be the most inclusive company in the world, but that's actually a goal that I want for every company. There is still a lot of work to do, but I continue to be inspired by the stories that have been shared with me and the commitments that have been made across the BRT and across the country.
A year ago, 181 of the nation's CEOs stood up to support a new statement on the purpose of a corporation based on the belief that a vibrant free market system which pursues social good and economic prosperity hand in hand doesn't just spark a vibrant economy. It makes a profound difference in the lives of all Americans. It supports people in their pursuit of the American dream. BRT companies remain committed to bringing our resources, creativity, and innovation to help meet the challenges of today and tomorrow for the benefit of everyone.